So last night we got a new champ. Strickland lost. Du Plessis won. It was a decision. And from the outside, it really looked like guys kind of trading a little bit here and there, not really a banger and all that. But there was, I felt, a lot going on. It was a pretty high level. They both have their own separate pieces that fit together, and it wasn't quite as boring as you might see from if you don't know what you're looking at. I thought it was pretty interesting overall because of the two different kind of one-off styles. The way they meshed together was pretty good. You know, Du Plessis kept Sean going backwards, and usually it's the opposite. Usually Sean is kind of pressuring people, but it was the opposite, and I found that really interesting. Sean had some really good checking the leg kicks from Du Plessis, which was interesting. It was great that Du Plessis was throwing them. You know, one of the things about the evolution now, the evolution we're in of MMA, is that mixing everything up so that your opponent has a lot more to think about. You know, and Du Plessis was throwing a lot of leg kicks, but Sean was checking them a lot, which was very interesting. But he kept throwing them here and there, which is a really good strategy. Another thing that he did to mix it up was Dricus was throwing in a takedown here and there. I think he went 6 for 9, if I remember right. And he even said it later that he wanted to make sure to get at least one in every round, which is the way it should be. You got to keep those, you know, can't let people get complacent with just a stand-up. You know, you're not going to get things through if they're not worried about level changes and that type of thing, if they don't have anything on their mind but, you know, punching you in the face. But they both had got a little beat up. Sean had a little bit of blood on the face. Dricus had a puffy eye. It was getting a little by the end. You know, I was starting to think, man, that's getting big. Like, I wonder how the judges are thinking about that. But it was interesting to see Dricus adjusting through the fight. He seemed like he was really using his head, changing stuff around a little bit. He wasn't getting stuck in a rut. You know, you see that a lot. There was a couple fights earlier in the night where you kind of saw that. Raquel Pennington, you know, you're thinking, why don't you change what you're doing? You know, you're just sitting there holding her. Why are you doing that? You're doing great punching her in the face. You're winning on that, but then you just hold her. So, you know, it was nice to see him changing up what he was doing. You know, another thing, it was really, there was this whole thing about cardio, and Sean's a cardio monster, but can he take the pressure? And Dricus is getting tired all the time in his matches. You know, they both did a great job. Neither one of them seemed really tired overall. They put out a lot of effort and really had that gas tank. That was great. The last thing that I want to mention is Strickland's jab and his teep. That was great. He kept throwing that teep. He threw it less as the rounds went on. I think personally he should have thrown it more throughout the whole fight, throughout the rounds. But that jab, man, Strickland's jab was just splitting the guard and finding it. That's how Dricus' face got all messed up. But all in all, I think it was a great match.